call the meeting of the New York State Cemetery Board to order. I'm Mark Patterson, sitting in for Secretary of State Robert Rodriguez. I don't have any particular opening remarks today, so we'll dive into the business, but let's introduce, see the board members are here. Tom?
I'm Thomas Fuller, representing Dr. James McDonald for the Department of Health.
And Jill? Can't see anybody.
Jill, are you there?
Oh, I'll text her. Jill joined.
Oh, she just joined.
Hello, Jill.
There.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Jill Faber, representing Attorney General Letitia James.
So, full house, full board. We'll start with the minutes of the previous meeting. Does anybody have any corrections, suggestions, or changes? The minutes distributed?
No changes.
We changed a long time, so either we're not paying attention or Lou's is doing a great job. So
You're assuming I'm paying attention.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting as distributed. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Thank you. Next on the agenda is a discussion about legislation and regulations. Rob Vanderbilt is our counsel. Do you have things to talk about?
I do have things to talk about. Thank you, Mark. I do not have a legislative report because there hasn't been any movement since our last meeting. In terms of regulations, we do have draft regulations for natural organic reduction to discuss. They're distributed to the board. They are posted on our website. I'd like to do a very brief overview, answer any questions that the board may have, and then ask the board to move to direct the division and I to file a notice of proposed rulemaking. So, if I may, natural organic reduction or human composting is the contained accelerated conversion of human remains to soil. Briefly, a body is placed inside of a container with bulking agents like wood chips, and over a month or two, the process produces about a cubic yard of compost. The operator removes any medical implants, residue, pulverizes the remaining bones, and at the end, it looks a lot like dirt. The effective date authorizing natural organic reduction in the state was June 28th, 2023. The statute is largely modeled on a 2006 law for cremation, so in the same vein, we modeled our proposed regulations on our cremation regulations. So for record keeping, maintenance, privacy, and certification courses, we just largely replicated what we've already done and already works. For the technical aspects of the composting process, we were informed by DEC regulations for commercial composting facilities. We consulted DEC and DOH developing the draft. Lewis and Mike Seelman flew to Washington to view several facilities firsthand and observe their processes. And we virtually attended the nation's first human composting conference in the spring. I have 3 points I'd like to draw your attention to. At section 204.6, we specify the acceptable and prohibited additions to the vessel. So bulking agents like shredded and chipped wood, straw, and alfalfa are permissible. We specify a non-compostable identification tag to keep track of the identity of the remains throughout the process. And primarily what we were seeking is to ensure that this is truly a composting process, that someone isn't going to say, cremate the remains, put them into dirt, and say that's natural organic reduction. At 2:04,
Or worse, do alkaline hydrolysis and call it natural organic reduction.
Absolutely, yes, I also concur with that. At section 204.8, we drew heavily from the DEC's commercial composting regs to ensure a safe process. The temperature that the soil has to be heated to and the length of time is all based upon decades-long, long-standing commercial composting processes. At the end of the process, the cemetery must send the soil samples out to a lab to test for pathogens and heavy metals. And those are the same standards that DEC holds commercial composting facilities to. And those are equal to or stricter than EPA rules for spreading treated sewage sludge on a home garden. And then finally, At section 204.3, we've included certain remains that are unsuitable for natural organic reduction. Some are statutory, like battery packs or radiological devices can't be included with remains. We've added embalmed bodies because logically that makes sense. Those would not compost well. We've also added remains whose cause of death include active tuberculosis, Ebola, prion diseases, and the remains of persons who have perished in radiological incidents. These are concerns that we've seen develop in other states, and so we thought that we would include them in the proposed regulations here. We've also proposed to empower the Department of Health to list additional contagious diseases where the individual is known or is suspected to have been infected with at the time of death, to make sure that we can keep on top of any public health concerns that arise through NOR. We anticipate the easiest way to screen for this information is for the persons in controlled disposition to just disclose on the natural organic reduction authorization form. Those are the highlights of what we've done in the regs. I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Did you mention that we've shared them
Yes.
and that we got
Well,
comments?
we shared them with the board and also with some stakeholders. Right?
We did share them with stakeholders. I circulated to the board late last night the comments that we had received, the informal comments that we had received from NYSAC. Of course, if there's no substantive comments,
Well, but the process is restricted to cemeteries, not-for-profit cemeteries.
The process is restricted to cemeteries. Interestingly enough, what the legislature did with the natural organic reduction statute is, religious cemeteries and municipal cemeteries will be able to apply to the cemetery board for permission to open natural organic reduction facilities. That's pursuant to section 1503 and 1505-B of the not-for-profit corporation law.
And the composted remains are go to a cemetery for memorialization or whatever the process is.
Correct. At the end of the natural organic reduction process, the remains do have to be placed in a cemetery.
That's in the statute, that's not something we made up for the regs.
That is not something that we made up for the regs, that is within the statute.
Well, I don't have any questions. Do any board members have questions? Tom?
Just, if they fail, you have the section on failure of the pathogen testing.
Mhm.
If it continually fails, what happens with the remains after that?
Tom, that's a really great question. So if they fail the first time, if the laboratory results indicate that they don't meet the thresholds established in the reg, the natural organic reduction facility has to repeat the process. We've specified that for if it's an issue with failing the heavy metal standards, they could add additional bulking materials. But essentially, they have to repeat the process and retest. If they fail an additional time, what we've provided for it is that the cemetery, the natural organic reduction facility, has to address that additional failure as part of its plan of operations. Because natural organic reduction is such a new and novel form of disposition, you'll notice very early on, if I can get this section, at 204.3, subdivision A, plan of operations, what we've done is we've listed what each natural organic reduction facility needs to do in order to develop a plan of operations, and what their plan of operations has to cover. As I meant, because this is a new process, while we know that we want our facilities to handle certain things, we wanted to give flexibility as this new industry develops and how those things are handled.
From what I learned being in Washington State, it's extraordinarily rare in the experience of the 3 facilities I visited for the remains to fail the test. And I don't think any of them had to fail the test more than once.
Yeah, so
So hopefully this is an eventuality that we have to provide for, but that will never come to pass.
what we heard at that spring conference is that nationally, the estimate of the the operators there was that natural organic reduction had occurred about 500 times in the country so far.
There were what, 2 or 3 that failed? Something like that.
So, what we're hoping is that, through this testing, facility operators not only are ensuring that their process is safe, but that we also develop a body of data that demonstrates that the process is safe. And it's possible that, as we get more experience with natural organic reduction, as natural organic reduction facilities refine their processes, we might, look at these testing requirements in the future to, see if they're still necessary.
Jill, did you have any questions?
I didn't know.
So, again, just to remind people, the request is that the board direct the division and our council to file these as proposed regulations. That process builds in a public comment period, and I'll keep going, but we then receive the comments, consider them. If they're significant, we take some action or to look at them at least.
So,
go ahead.
Yep, so if the board directs the division and I to file the notice of proposed rulemaking today, and if I get it in before 5 p.m. today, the notice of proposed rulemaking would be published in the state register on August 23rd. The 60-day comment period would end October 22nd. If we received no comments whatsoever and made no changes, then we could file a notice of proposed adoption October 24th, and the rule would be effective November 8th. Now, if we did receive comments, we would have to do, an analysis of those comments, which would delay that. If we, as a result of those comments, decided to make substantial revisions to the regulation, we would then do a notice of revised rulemaking, which would provide an additional 45-day comment period. So the absolute quickest, these rules could become effective is November 8th. It seems unlikely that it would happen that quickly, but of course we have to see what formal comments we do receive.
And any informal comments that we receive should also, we want people to make them in the public comment period so they can be officially considered.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Mark.
Correct. Okay, so I'm not sure there's anything else to discuss. I'll make a motion to direct the division to file these proposed regs as proposed rulemaking. Have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I think this is just law was passed. It's had a certain amount of notoriety because it is new and popular. So I applaud the division and the council, our council, for their diligence in going to learn as much as they can about the process. The rules are the opportunity is in effect. So we have not received any applications so far. It would be good to get these finalized before we have to look at that. We don't expect it to be a huge book of business, but it does take a while and is expensive. But it is something that some people may want to choose to avail themselves of. So again, thank you for your good work. Rob, do you have anything else in terms of regulations or you want to report on?
I have nothing further.
Great. Louis, do you have a division report?
Sure, just 2 things. Number one, I wanted to welcome Nathan McCarthy, our administrative assistant, who started yesterday. We have an associate accountant starting on, also based in Albany, I'm not naming any names until they start.
Yeah,
Starting on
next
August
Thursday,
17th. And then we have a senior accountant in New York City candidate has accepted our offer. Is supposed to start at the end of September, and we're working on positions in Albany and Syracuse. More to come on that. Other than that,
Welcome.
Thanks.
Other than that, we've been traveling the state doing our Cemetery 101 roadshow. We did 3 last week and 1 this week in Buffalo, Canandaigua, Syracuse, and Canton. We had probably 150 people total attend all 4. And I think we're digesting the feedback. I know I found it to be a lot to digest in 1 session. On the other hand, I don't know how often people would want to come out for these, so breaking it into 2 sessions might not be a great idea. But we're going to try to figure out how best to convey the message. We're also, once we clean up our slides, going to make and run them by council. So that's part of the process. Make them available on our website so that anybody who wants to can access that information. Hoping to do that this week or next.
Let me remind people to mute your line if you're not speaking.
Yeah, sure. It's really weird because I noticed that they put lighting about a
Good, please mute your line. I don't know who it is, I can't see, but somebody's speaking and we are able to hear you. So if you're not addressing the board, please mute your line. Thank you. Okay, so Louis, you can continue. Is there anything else that you? Cemetery 101, I think that's a great thing for us to service.
Yeah, we've already started scheduling one in the Utica area, Oneida County for the fall, and we've had a request from Chautauqua County, and we're going to try to schedule one in Orange County as well. And that's pretty much all I had to report. Hopefully, we will have more new staff to introduce next month.
Great news about the training and about the new staff. Congratulations. Thank you to staff for joining us. Alicia has left to try to mute that line, but she's back.
So before we move to vandalism report, do you have any statistics on annual reports?
I do not. At this point in time, they've been trickling in, just a few a week, so it's nothing material as far as new reports coming in.
So in that case, I guess vandalism report.
Okay, Alicia, do you have any?
I posted it, and
As mailed.
it's posted and circulated. Again, it's the slow season, the summertime. The numbers were not much different than last month as far as what collections were made. We have committed about all of the $2 million, we still have about $82,000 left. But again, we're only paying out 25%. A lot of the work that's getting approved now probably won't be completed until next year. Anybody have any questions?
Okay, are we ready to move to the applications for vandalism funds? We have 5 applications before the board. All are for dangerous, 5 are for dangerous monuments, and 1 is for abandoned cemetery. Should we just go right down the list, Lucia? As the agenda, follow the agenda?
Yep.
All right, so the first is Morton Union Cemetery, Town of Kendall. That sounds like the abandonment one for $8,581.20. Can someone present that to the board?
This is Mike Thielman from the division. The Morton Union Cemetery is a small rural cemetery in the town of Kendall, Orleans County. They were abandoned in the town in 2020 and were granted $36,634 for a one-time cleanup that included monument repair, purchase of a mower, surveying the property, and installation of a fence. They went ahead and purchased the mower. They were able to get an actual better price and save money on that mower. They completed the hazardous monument repair and had the survey done. The problem they ran into was due to the pandemic and shortages and things that were going on at the time, it took them about 2 years to get the survey completed. And they weren't able to put up the fence until the survey was completed. So in 2022, they attempted to have the fence installed and were told that the price for the fencing had gone up. So they solicited 2 more bids. The lower of the new bids is $27,750. That's $10,900 more than the original bid. They were able to save $2,318.78 buying the mower. So now they are requesting an additional $8,581.22 to cover the cost of increase in the fence. And the division has recommended that be approved.
Does council have any recommendations?
No comments from council.
Okay. Any questions from members of the board?
Just want to interject one thing here. It's for other people who may be applying. If you've applied for money for 3 different things and A and B come in cheap, but C comes in expensive, you still have to come back to us because we've given a breakdown of what the money's supposed to be used for. And you can't just say, oh, I'm going to pay for X instead. If everything comes in cheap, that's great. They'll just owe us some money. But the town properly came back to us and asked us to correct this. Just for the record, we've had this happen a couple of times before.
Okay. Did I hear Jill ask a question?
No, I didn't.
All right. We still have some open lines. People, again, if you're not speaking or prepared to speak, please mute your line. All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the application of Morton Houston, Town of Kendall for Mountain Morton Union Cemetery in Earleans County for an additional $8,581.20. Do we have it, funds? Just got a second from Tom. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is Dangerous Monuments, Riga Cemetery in Monroe County, in the amount of $39,440.77.
Hello, this is Michael Katina with the division. Riga County is a small suburban cemetery in Churchill, New York, County of Monroe. They put an application for 15 monuments. We went out and inspected, and 15 monuments did appear to be eligible. The low bid was from Woodside Granite Repair, an estimate of $39,308, an average of $26.21 a monument. The foundations will be poured to 42 inches, and originally there was not a specific warranty, but after Investigator Seelman spoke with them, they did agree to a 10-year warranty. We recommend approval in the amount of $39,440.77. That includes the $132.77 for the ad, which was run in the paper.
And do they look for records of people they can contact?
Yes, and they were unable to find any. Let me see what the earliest grave was. The latest grave was from 1928. Also, the original, the low bidder did originally ask, require 50% upfront before beginning work, but the cemetery has spoken with him, and if that is not possible, they will begin work for the 25%.
Any comments from council?
No comments from council, other than or to be subject to the availability of funds.
Subject to the availability of funds. Thank you. So I'll make a motion to approve the application of Riga the cemetery in Monroe County for hazardous monuments in the amount of $39,440.77, subject to the availability of funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. We have an application from Verona Cemetery in Oneida County, 38 monuments, in the amount of $62,445.25. Present that to the board.
This is Mike Seelman. Verona Cemetery is a small rural cemetery in the town of Verona, Oneida County. They submitted an application for repair of 40 hazardous monuments. I visited the cemetery and confirmed that 38 of the monuments appeared to pose a hazard. 2 of the monuments were removed from consideration. One of them had fallen and was therefore not hazardous. It was laying flat on the ground. And the other one was a massive monument, and but it was relatively straight and it was solid on its base. And we discussed it with the cemetery representative and the contractor, and we all agreed that it did not appear to be hazardous. So those 2 monuments were removed from consideration. The most recent monument is dated 1955. The cemetery stated they don't have records for that period and older monuments. So they ran a legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the Oneida Daily Dispatch, and they received no response from that legal notice. And based on this, it's the division's understanding that the cemetery has determined that the lot owners cannot be located. Cemetery submitted 2 repair estimates, the lower of which was from Northeast Cemetery Service for $62,100. That's to reset the 38 monuments. They'll provide concrete foundations to the depth of 42 inches, and they have a 10-year warranty. The average price is $1,634 per monument. Verona Cemetery is up to date on their vandalism payments, and I recommend approval in the amount of $62,445.25.
Council?
No comments from council.
Any questions from the board? I'll make a motion to approve the application of Verona Cemeteries in Oneida County for dangerous monuments in the amount of $62,445.25, subject to the availability of funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Your application is approved. Next one is Walnut Grove Cemetery in Onondaga County. 79 monuments for $63,000. Good deal. $982.35. Is there someone to present that to the board?
Mike Seelman again. Walnut Grove is a small cemetery in the town of Onondaga in Onondaga County. They submitted an application for the repair of 79 hazardous monuments. I visited the cemetery and found all 79 monuments appeared hazardous. The most recent monument is from 1967. The cemetery stated they don't have lot owner records for that period. The cemetery was reorganized 2 years ago, and there's a new group involved, and they're very they're doing a very good job on keeping records. They're keeping records going forward, but because they did not have the information for these older monuments, they ran the legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the Press Observer, and they received no response. The division's understanding that the cemetery has determined that the lot owners cannot be located. They submitted 2 repair estimates. The lower of the 2 is from Pexton Cemetery Service for $63,982. That's to reset 79 monuments on new foundations, concrete foundations, 42 inches deep with a 10-year warranty. This average price is $807 per stone. The cemetery is up to date on their vandalism payments, and I recommend approval in the amount of $63,982.35.
Council?
No comments from council.
All right, any questions from members of the board?
None here.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the application for Walnut Grove Cemetery in Onondaga County, the amount of $63,980.35, subject to the availability of funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion, application is approved, motion carries. Next is Union Cemetery, 82 monuments in St. Lawrence County. I was thinking it's sorted by number of monuments, but this one's lower, so. And the amount of $56,950.25. Who's presenting that?
Again, it's Mike Seelman. Union Cemetery is a small cemetery in the town of Stockholm, St. Lawrence County. They submitted an application for repair of 97 monuments. I visited the cemetery with the cemetery representatives, and we found 82 of the monuments that they had listed appeared to be hazardous. The 15 that did not appear to be hazardous were mostly small monuments or monuments that were more secure, and we all agreed that they did not appear hazardous, so they were removed from consideration. The most recent monument is dated 1931, and the cemetery does not have records going back that far, so they ran a legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the Watertown Daily Times, and they received no response from that legal notice. It's the division's understanding that the cemetery has determined that the lot owners cannot be located. The cemetery requested repair estimates from 4 different contractors throughout the North Country, but were only able to get one from Prairie Monument Company, and that was for $56,639.53 to reset the 82 stones on 42-inch foundations, and they offered a 10-year warranty. The estimate for this sole bid is averages $691 per stone. So it is lower than the average of what we've seen. And they've requested that you accept the one bid. The letter indicated the names of the other monument companies that they contacted, but were not able to get estimates from. They're up to date on their vandalism payments, and their previous fund were used appropriately, and I recommend approval in the amount of $56,950.25.
No comments from council.
No comments. Council, any questions from members of the board? In that case, I'll make a motion to approve the application from Union Cemetery in St. Lawrence County for dangerous monuments in the amount of $56,950.25, subject to the availability of funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Last one of these is Union Cemetery in Tyrone, Schuyler County, 27 monuments, in $32,877.98. Is there a presentation?
This is Brendan Stanton with the division. We have an application from the Union Cemetery of Tyrone in the town of Tyrone, Schuyler County. It's for 27 monuments. I inspected the monuments, and they appeared to be hazardous and continue at this time to appear that way. This is an older application. There's been a bit of a delay because the legal notice that was submitted was not in the correct format. So the Cemetery Association ran an additional legal notice, which does meet the requirements. The Cemetery Association examined their records, and they did not have any information for lot owners from this time period. So it's our understanding that the monument owners cannot be located. They received 2 estimates offering the same work, the only difference being that the one from DC Masonry offers a 15-year warranty, while the other one offers a 10-year warranty. So in consideration of all this, I am recommending approval of this application in the amount of the lower estimate plus the cost of the correct legal notice, the total being $32,877.98.
Council?
No comments from council.
Okay, any questions from members of the board?
I don't have any.
Okay, yes? No?
No.
All right, then I'll make a motion to approve the application for dangerous monuments of Union Cemetery of Tyrone and Schuyler County in the amount of $32,877.98, subject to the availability of funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Application is approved. That completes our review of applications for vandalism funds, vandalism of van funds. The only other thing on our agenda is a request for approval of a new mausoleum from Evergreen Cemetery. So we want to talk a little bit about that.
Kelly, are you on? Or do you want me to do it? Okay, you want to do it? Carrie?
Hey, I'm sorry, I was on another call. I don't know which Carrie answered, but I'm here. Evergreen Cemetery.
You're the only one this-
Okay, actually, Louis, can you do it because my phone is this guy is calling me back.
Fine. So
Thank you. I'm
Evergreen
sorry.
Cemetery-
Hang on.
Evergreen Cemetery in Brooklyn is running low on both grave space, in-ground space, and mausoleum space. They have an area next to an existing mausoleum that they want to put another garden mausoleum on. Carrie and I visited the site, I want to say it was the end of June. It's not going to interfere with any existing burials, it's not going to interfere with the existing mausoleum. The cost is just over $1 million. They anticipate $2.3 million in net revenue after cost of sale and allocations and all that. So it's going to be a money-making project. The cemetery has a proven track record of selling mausoleum space. They appear to be in compliance, generally speaking, with all of our regulations. The signs, the appropriate signs were up in the right places when we visited. They can afford it, and we think it makes sense. And Rob, do you want to say anything about seeker, or do you want me to?
I'm happy to say something.
Why don't you do it?
Okay, so based upon the square footage in compliance with zoning and use, the proposed project would be a type 2 under 19 NYC 6 NYC RR 617.5 C9.
So my understanding is they actually have they have been informed that they have received all required local permits, but don't have the actual physical copies of permits in hand. So my recommendation is going to be subject to receipt of all required local permits, but I think they've actually more or less received them already.
Okay, so any further action the board need to take in terms of the seeker?
No.
So all we're required to do is, do we approve this, or do we?
Yes.
Okay. So, does the board members have any questions on this?
No.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the application from Evergreen Cemetery to build a new mausoleum as described in the conversation. And I don't think there's anything else.
Subject to the receipt of all required.
Subject, I think, again, to receipt of all actual copies of all required permits and approvals, local government permits. Did I get that right? Okay. So, do I have a second? Adam? Thank you. All right, we're up to you, man. Any, no other comments? I'll make, let's, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
application is approved. Our next board meeting is scheduled for September 12th.
Mark, can I ask the board to address one matter of a petition?
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to set up a date.
So, actually, today, I was personally served on behalf of Mark with a petition to disinter remains. I've reviewed the petition. It does name the cemetery board as a party, but does not seek any relief from the board or the division, nor does the petition or any affidavit, include any sort of assertion of wrongdoing or any action by the board or division. I would presume that the reason that the petition was served was for compliance with Not-for-Profit Corporation Law 1515, in which the cemetery board needs to be served with notice of any proceeding or action, and the board is to take such steps in the action or proceeding as it may deem necessary to protect the public interest. Should the board not wish to do that, I'm happy to reach out to the parties to indicate the board will take no position on this matter. Is that the sense of the board?
You don't need a vote, you just need a vote.
I mean, I would prefer a vote.
Okay, so anybody have any questions of this petition? All right, I'll take a motion that we approve a resolution that the board will take no action in this matter.
I think that works, yes.
Second, Bill, you want to get on the board?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I didn't hear.
You want to make the second just so that you're on the board?
Second.
Second?
There you
Bill,
go.
all right. We have a
Yeah,
second?
but wait, actually, let me just ask one question, Rob. You're
Sure.
gonna let them know that we take no position, not that we take no action. I know that is
Take no position, sure.
just, yeah,
Yes,
take no
thank you.
position.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to say no position. We have a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Louis, you have some noise?
I'm sorry, I have one more follow-up. So my understanding is that typically the board does take that tact with these, common, proceedings to disinter remains. I would be happy to just, act on an order of the board where, there's no risk identified in the action of proceeding to the division of the board or any unique facts. If the board so directs me to follow up with the parties, that the board takes no position on the proceeding moving forward, unless,
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, and so I will bring to your attention proceedings to disinter remains where there are unique circumstances or where I identify risk to the board or division, but otherwise the board will take no position.
Louis?
So the next board meeting is currently scheduled for September 12th. That's smack in the middle of the NYSAC annual fall meeting. So we have two possibilities. One is move it to Friday the 15th. The other would be to do it on Tuesday the 19th. I don't know whether the board members have any preference on that.
The 19th would be better for me.
So let's do it the 19th, 10:30?
I don't know, but I'm assuming it'll be okay.
I can check.
I looked for my calendar.
I can actually check your calendar. Do the thing. Hopefully scheduled for the right day. Yeah, you guys are both, you and Tom are both in the clear if your calendar's up to date.
There's a NICOM, my calendar says I have a training school those days. So that might be a conflict.
Yeah, I don't see that.
That's right on the top.
It's not displaying this.
I'll let you know.
Okay, so, I mean, do we want to try for a different date?
could do it as two, or you could, or I'll.
Do it what? Do it at 2, you said?
With two. You're okay with
Two
only
board members.
No,
Yeah, we could. I mean, I ideally like to have you there, so Jill doesn't have to chair the meeting.
I may have a conflict.
Are you conflicts Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday? Because we could go for Wednesday instead.
Monday, it's all week. I won't be there. Just schedule that and I'll work around
Okay.
it. All right?
So September 19th, 10:30 a.m.
Yeah, I'll have to reschedule the room.
I'm sorry, what date is that?
September
19th, September 19th, Tuesday.
Okay? We always give the public an opportunity for public comment. This is that time. Is there anybody here wishing to address the board on any matter that we've discussed or other matters before the board? No? Anybody online that wants to speak to the board? Okay, then I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye, meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Aye.